The Miami Dolphins pulled off the improbable win against the Buffalo Bills at Week 10, and now they get to travel to Spain to take on Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan. We're going to break down this Week 11 international matchup between the Dolphins and Commanders and provide our predictions at the end. So be sure to stay tuned, leave a comment, let us know who you think is going to win and why. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button, get notified when new videos come out. And Ryan, this is the final international game of the season. The Commanders and Dolphins are flying to Madrid to play against each other in the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. This is where Real Madrid plays. And I go this specific because I've actually been there when I studied abroad. Gorgeous stadium. It's going to be a lot of fun. Gives me more reason to want to watch this game than because both these two team seasons are pretty much done. Miami, even with the improbable win, is still well without the playoff race, and Washington as well too with the injuries that they've had. Their season's pretty much shot. But still, though, Miami 30-13 win over the Buffalo Bills. A little shocking overall. I think they benefited from I think the Bills had such a big victory over Kansas City the week before, and then with all the trades and how everything happened, they just didn't show up to play at all. They were able to produce 3 turnovers from Buffalo, able to make Josh Allen look uncomfortable, and interception in the red zone by Josh Allen. After Josh Allen had a big run, then they forced a fumble as well too. Just a sloppy game for Buffalo. Miami was able to capitalize on it, especially then too with their star players. A-Chain just ran all over them, and even Tua had a couple of good throws for a couple of touchdowns as well. So, Ryan, you are the New England Patriots fan, and so you followed what Miami does as well too. What do you think about Miami? What do you think they're going to be doing the rest of the season? What do they have to do come out victorious here in this victory over the Commanders, and then vice versa for the Commanders?
Yeah, I mean, Miami is clearly going to be going through, I think, a rebuild this offseason. This season just has not gone to plan for them, even though they did get the win over the Bills today. And so I think going forward for them, I think they're really just going to be trying to figure out some of the pieces that they have that they can build with in seasons to come. So I think you look, Devon A-Chain was one of those. Jalen Waddle was one of those. Tua, I know Tua had like the big touchdown pass to Jalen Waddle, but he really only had like 170 something passing yards. Like he didn't look all that great. And honestly, I think you look, not saying they're going to like move on from him for Quinn Ewers or whatever, but I think you look at this draft class or in 2027, I think the Dolphins in 2027 can get out from under a lot of the money that they owe Tua if they were to move on from him. And so I think, maybe they try to build things up from there and then dip into that quarterback class at the top there. And I think that that's going to be something going forward that, Dolphins fans maybe need to learn about some of these new quarterback prospects coming out. And they're still technically in the running, I think, for some of the guys in this class, if they wanted to go that route. But the Dolphins, are looking to the offseason and building for the future. The Commanders are as well, but it's a little bit different. Jaden Daniels in this offense have been really banged up this year. Terry McLaurin with his injuries. Deebo Samuel's missed some time as well. And so they have some of the cornerstone pieces, most essentially the franchise quarterback in Jaden Daniels. And so for them, I still think they're trying to get into a position where they could maybe make a push for a wild card, even though what are they, 3-6 now? Is that their
3-7?
3-7. Yeah. And that's going to be really hard. But I think the outlook for this Commanders team in the future is a little bit brighter, just because they have hit on that quarterback spot. And so going from there, in this matchup, I think it's going to be really important. Whoever can stop the run is more than likely going to win. I think both of these teams are not good rushing defenses. The Dolphins are 26th in rushing yards allowed, and the Commanders are 23rd, while the Commanders have the 7th best rushing offense, and the Dolphins have the 23rd best rushing offense. And so I think that that's going to be something like that's really going to play into this game against two teams that I think are struggling to consistently throw the ball. I think the Dolphins have definitely been more explosive in the passing game, but the Commanders, I think, even with Mariota, are still a little bit more consistent than the Dolphins are.
Well, the thing for me from when I think about this Commanders defense is just how banged up they are. It's like Lattimore's now out too. Not even saying that Lattimore was playing particularly fantastic this year, but still, it's not the same defense that it was last year, led by Dan Quinn. And although I agree that I think Mariota might technically be a little bit more consistent than this two offense. I feel like this Washington Commanders offense does not have the explosiveness, or really, I think just in general now, like the offensive kind of dynamicness,
Yeah,
especially too now with Jaden Daniels being out, but also Corey Cross-Merritt and then Jeremy Nichols. They've had a lot of injuries in the running back room. Eckler being out now. I'm not saying Eckler was a stud, but he was still a good dynamic guy that you can still send out with passes. You trade Brian Robinson as well too. They're just not super scary overall. I know they put up
yeah,
20 here against Detroit. Detroit could be a little bit susceptible, but also too at the same time, Detroit was heavily in control of this game the entire time. I mean, they put up over 540 yards against this team here, and so not saying that Miami's going to do that, but I am curious just how they're going to stop guys in this Miami room, like with the speed that they have, like with Jalen Waddle. Malik Washington scored a touchdown today as well too. Devon A-Chain is, I think, is going to be the best player on the field. I think vast majority of the time,
probably.
especially too with everybody that they have out. There was a fight, I believe, was it Daron Payne
Yeah,
that got
Deron Payne got ejected for punching
so
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
so it'll probably just be a fine, but something that we'll need to monitor if there's going to be a suspension, like a half suspension or something like that. Probably not, just something like that. But that's still, there's a lot of frustration going on in that locker room, and now they have to fly to Spain, which will be a fun time. Madrid's
Yeah.
fun. Absolutely recommend it to anybody that's watching this here. I think another thing though too as well, Trey Amos ended up getting hurt. Jonathan Jones and
Yeah.
Chris Rodriguez all ended up getting hurt. So just more guys that ended up getting hurt. And as you talked about, like I think Washington has a good structure. They're just going through the injury bug this year. Miami is the team that's going to be more interesting on what they do this offseason. Because I think
Yeah.
Washington is going to be best player available. They just improve everywhere, but they have good bones overall when healthy. Miami, though, is, I mean, they've got the good, like one of the top running backs in the league, one of the better receivers in the league. That being said, though, I think there's a lot of positions that are up for grabs, that anybody can come in and I think really put a good case for themselves to get instant starting spots as well here too. I think with Miami and the quarterback position, I would do it. Like even you allow him to have some time to sit behind Tua, if they end up picking eighth or ninth, and then let's say if Mendoza falls a little bit, or Simpson falls a little bit, or let's see if Dante Moore or I don't know, I still kind of have some faith in Garrett Nussmeier, just with his capabilities.
I don't know. He got
He,
benched on Saturday.
well, he's not definitely not having the season, but there's also a lot of external things going on in
Yeah.
LSU just to defend him a little bit. But that's a totally separate conversation. I'm by no means saying he is like the number one quarterback in this class. By no means am I saying that at all. But there's still a lot of good things that we've seen from him over the past couple of years. But that being
Yeah.
said, though, with Miami, this game's going to be interesting. I am going to go with the Dolphins in this one. I think they're just going to have a little bit more dynamic players in
Mhm.
general. I also think they kind of have now like the effort mentality, and so I think that allows them to be more explosive. I'm sure Washington probably has the effort mentality, but they just don't have that explosiveness that I'm seeing when it comes to what they can do offensively on the field. And so I could absolutely see Washington winning this game, but to me, I'm going to go with A-Chain breaking off a couple of runs here. Waddle maybe breaking off a couple of these quick slants. That's going to be the difference in this game. And so I just don't really trust. I don't really trust Mariota or Tua, to be completely fair. But
Yeah.
I just think that explosiveness is going to kind of be the difference in this game.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Washington. I just feel like they're the better team here. I don't know. Like, usually with these international games, I pick the team that is more talented. But I think, and granted, Washington's really banged up, but I think the talent is relatively equal. Um, and so like I'm just going with the coach I have more faith in, and that's Dan Quinn in this matchup. So,
Yeah.
but that'll do it for this episode. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap it up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Washington Commanders? Will it be the Miami Dolphins? And that we'll see you guys next time.